to understand the loss and then realise it's too late.
To have things stripped and taken from you all the time, it's just heartbreaking.
It's about destruction, it's about obliteration, it's about annihilation.
South of Whangārei, the whenua of Te Parawhau lies eroded by development. The Marsden Point oil refinery, once holding such economic promise, now closed. The sacred maunga manaia defaced.
It's heavy going. Heavy going, because in my experience, Māori as a collective has really been shortchanged in the north. I see the same world that my ancestors saw in 1750, but it's all changed.
In Takahiwai, only slithers of Māori land remain. Now the Crown wants the last of this hapū's land. NorthPort at Marsden Point is one of the few ports in the country not connected to rail. A 19-kilometre rail link is proposed to connect NorthPort to the main line, but it goes right through the last block of Te Parawhau land, Kopuawaiwaha.
Well, it would be nice to be asked rather than to be told, but then again, the Act says the right to take.
The Public Works Act gives the Crown power to acquire land from private landowners for building infrastructure like roads, schools, hospitals and rail.
Has land previously been taken under Public Works?
Yes, 4 miles from here, 5,000 acres. And guess who sits on there? NorthPort. Who needs the Marsden rail link? NorthPort. Well, what is necessary for those industries such as NorthPort? Confiscated Māori land. Underpins all of this. Underpins the industrial development in the Whangārei district. Confiscated land.
Further up the line, promised economic development has come to a grinding halt. 100-odd kilometres of new concrete sleepers lie alongside the defunct Kauri to Otiria rail line in preparation for an upgrade. When the land was first taken for rail a century ago under the Public Works Act, the hapū, Ngāti Teara and Ngāti Kopaki were happy to sell.
It was very nostalgic for them because they would ride horses in and out to get to town, and now they actually have a form of transport where they get to pick up all their metes along the way, have a cup of tea with them and then go into Kawakawa.
The railway was mothballed in 2016, but now Kiwirail want to reopen the line so forestry and other goods from the far north can go directly to NorthPort.
Our generation today, we can't stand Kiwirail, sorry. No, I'm not going to say sorry, we can't stand them because they still came into our communities in a really aggressive way to speak to our families.
Miley George is among those in Otiria saying no to bringing back rail.
Isn't there an economic benefit of having the railway lines working again?
Back in my grandmother's time, yes, because we had uncles that used to do the trains up and down. So like I said, it was a very generational thing. It was very thriving back in those times for my grandmother and all of the valleys, but it's a different experience now in 2024.
You don't believe that it will bring jobs for whānau here?
Nah, not at all, because I've always said that, mai rāno. And probably in every small community they've said that. Then they contract and bring their own people in to do part of that mahi in that project. So, yeah, talk is cheap.
And the hapū is up against a strong force.
We need to fix the infrastructure, the roads, and I want the rail re-established from Whangārei to Otiria. And I don't want to hear any more excuses from any whānau in Ngāti Hele that they're going to resort to violence if the railway goes ahead.
You don't come here, Shane Jones. You don't know our families. You haven't even bothered to speak to our people. So, you know, haere tonu, stay where you are, up in the far north. You are not welcome here if you're going to treat and speak to our people like that.
Decades of fighting the Crown for whenua have taken their toll.
When you continue to have things stripped and taken from you all the time, it's just heartbreaking. It's like, you know, it's abusive for families.
Bream Bringing their plight before Parliament is Green MP Huhana Linden.
Have you had any conversations with other relevant ministers, say Minister Shane Jones?
We have a different worldview and we have given so much as iwi Māori. You don't need to look far to see how much Māori have contributed in each city, town and district. Why do we have to give more?
Māori land in the Whangārei district went from this in 1840 to this today.
So that's what we are left with. We've already given so much. We've lost it for roads, we've lost it for cycleways and railways, and now you're wanting to take a bit extra. Every metre counts in Te Re Whenua Māori. When you have so little, it means so much. Not one more metre.
Her members' bill would amend the current Public Works Act, meaning whānau could say no to the Crown taking land for roads and rail.
If the whānau agree, kei te pai. If the whānau don't agree, that's where my bill kicks in to enable them to say no and go around the corner and go elsewhere.
Meanwhile, back in Takahiwai, they are fighting on for the future generations.
So as a teacher, I'm thinking, our children are they're not finishing secondary school. What are we going to do about that? What is this little wee trust going to do about our kids not finishing secondary school?
Here we go!
With the rent they earn from leasing out the land, they've set up a fund for their rangatahi.
So my idea was that let's start a small education grant, but it has to be for secondary schools.
So these Te Parawhau rangatahi from Bream Bay College in Northland are set to visit their sister school in Japan.
It's kind of just sharing a little bit of our culture with them like they did when they came over here, and just give them like a little view, a little performance of what we traditionally do as Māori, and also what relates back to New Zealand as well.
How do your whānau feel about you all heading off together to Japan?
I think they're pretty excited for us, and know this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so we should just definitely take it, and it'll be a great experience for us, especially in the future.
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity made possible by their hapū whenua trust.
That was a big boost into getting quite a lot of people over to Japan.
It was a big help and definitely gave me that push over the line to meet the goal. So it was really good.
It goes real fast, guys.
A trust that will have no funds if the land is acquired by Kiwirail.
We've been trusted to do this job. And there are young ones coming after us. And you don't want them to say of you, they didn't do a good job, did they? No. No.